Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of this year, Sold with Updike Pugh, episode 160.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and I just bungled through that entry, but we're still here and we're still excited. Thank you guys for joining. We've got a great house show today. Two amazing homes. The first one is a mid-century modern in Elmwood, which is Oak Cliff, and the second one is a really cool house. It's in Northwest Dallas. It was just recently renovated by a designer, and she never had any intentions of leaving, but work calls, and she's headed out, and that's a great house to take a look at.
It is a great opportunity for somebody. Such
Absolutely.
a cool place. So,
Yep.
In our second segment today, we're going to talk about 5 mistakes you do not want to make in selling your home. We've got very specific points to make. We've got some history to talk about, experiences where we have helped sellers that maybe got off on the wrong path to begin with, but it's going to be really interesting.
It should be good. It should be good. You know, it's funny because as we've done this show now for 160 episodes, I find myself like listening to more podcasts to kind of get an idea of how other shows run and how they talk. And the one right now that I really love is Shameless. Do you listen to Shameless?
I do. It's
Those guys-
hysterical.
Golly.
Jason Bateman,
Yes.
Sean Hayes, and
Will
Arnett.
They are so funny, and it's just so different to hear them. They have this crazy banter that goes back and forth, and they really have some great people that come on. The other day, I was listening to Zach Galifianakis when he came on the show, and I do it in the mornings when I'm doing cardio because it just goes on and on. But the thing is, I feel like I look like an idiot because I'm laughing on the treadmill while I'm looking up at something terrible that's happening on the news, and I'm sure people are like, what is this guy doing? But I get the biggest kick out. I'd love to know what everybody else is listening to. Do you have one that you're listening to?
That one's really been it. There's a couple of kind of murder mystery ones. There's one that is about a husband and wife that talk about the true crimes that have happened in the past, and it's really interesting. Gosh, what was the other one that the Big Steal? There was another one that I found incredibly interesting.
How about In God We Trust?
In God We Trust was, yeah, that was salacious and funny, and yeah, if you haven't listened to that.
Oh, but Christmas. Tyler Sweatman told me to listen to this one. It is called Santaland Diaries, and it's on NPR, American Lifestyle. Santaland Diaries, NPR.
Okay.
And it is with David Sedaris, and David Sedaris recounts his life as a 33-year-old elf in New York at the Macy's Day store. It pains me almost to listen to it. Is that I can put it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Christmas, we had our Christmas party 2 weeks ago.
We had our holiday party, did it at my house again. We wanted to bring in some of the pictures and show you just some of the stuff. It was such a great time, and we do it at my house, and I think one of the best things about it, to me, two best things. One is I get to live through all the holiday decorations after the party's over, but I also get to
what we learned.
This
is.
I think they're included in the end of this.
Oh, so this is actually what we learned. This is the entire segment that is all the topics that we had this year.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, we just kind of threw that together. Didn't know we were going to throw them together with this. But you can see that's a lot of topics to go through in a year.
That was a lot of topics.
And you know, this year's goal is for us to have more guests and be on set. Just because of the pandemic, everything pretty much had to be just you and I talking. And we really realized how important it is for us to have guests and bring them, because so many of our buyers and sellers and past clients want to know some of the stuff that we've got going on.
They really do. And these were, as I'm looking through these, some of these were even educational for me because we got to do the research before we actually talked about them, so we could get into more detail. And I learned a lot going through the background, getting ready for this.
You know what's crazy is looking at all these, I'm like, that is a lot of subjects to come up with in a year. I was like, oh, there'd be times when I'd look at you and be like, what are we going to talk about?
Well, if you figure we take 4 weeks off in a year, so that means there's 48 shows a year that we actually do. And here's the holiday party. Here's what I was talking about. Santa gets there at 8 o'clock in the morning. Kids usually start arriving about 9 o'clock with their parents. One of the things that these 3 kids, I think we have seen the last 4 years as they were growing up at the holiday party.
And actually, Omer and Natalie's baby, their oldest is 7, and this is 7 years old. He came as an infant, and now he's got a brother.
It was so much fun. Sherry Martin and Vicky Martin. Sherry is a graphics designer in our corporate office that does just an amazing job for us. And that is Charlotte. That is Charlotte Arnold, and Charlotte's parents, Emily and Bill, are really great friends and clients.
And then that's Emily, and that's her daughter Mimi. And then in the background is Jeffrey. And Jeffrey actually contributed to the zoo. We had a large petting zoo, but he brought his own guinea pig and actually gave them away.
Many of y'all know Jeremy and Natalie. Jeremy does all of our mortgage work for us. Those are their 2 kids, Finn and Scarlett.
And then this is Mimi and her brother Hank. They're hysterical. And I felt like Hank wrote a note, and I actually have a copy of it to give to Sam about everything that he wants.
And this is where we tried to get all of the people that we have worked with together. There were 2 people we weren't sure that were going to be there. That was Kyle and
Penelope.
Penelope. And Penelope didn't make it. Kyle made it later. And this is really one of the fun parts of it to me, is watching that interaction go on.
He did a great job. This is Jamie. She's our office manager. She did a great, brought her little one.
Arden.
And it just turned out great. The weather, yes, it was muggy, but look how good the picture turned out.
This is Chris Kelly, the president and CEO of Ebby Halliday, or Dave Perry Miller, Ebby Halliday Companies, and 2 of his children. He has an older daughter also.
And then these are some of my friends and their daughters and our clients as well. And they brought their little one, Jules, who is 6 months old, and she's amazing. I have to say, she's pretty skeptical of the entire thing.
These are some of my crew that came, and Adrian on the left, Megan, Morgan, Tim, all really good friends and customers.
And then here we are. This was actually one of the very, very last pictures of the day that we took. And it's very fun because Santa leaves at noon and people show up at about 11:59, and you're always like, you better hurry because Santa's got another gig.
Santa's got something to do.
Santa's got something to do. So, but that's a good overview look at it. And so hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I also wanted to point out, last weekend I went to Fredericksburg, and Fredericksburg is really amazing because of how much
What'd you do in Fredericksburg?
the wineries.
Okay.
Wineries. But we also did a distillery. But what I wanted to do is show you, some of our friends have a house down there. It's called the Burbank House, and it's on Airbnb. And it is a really great house. And I think that the web address for it is the Burbank House, theburbankhouse.com. And you can see here, it's really easy to rent. They've done a great job. It's a 3-bedroom, but it actually has a little half bedroom on the back side of the master, which has a trundle bed as well. So it sleeps 8 is what they say. But one of the most amazing things about this is the space that it has that's in basically a game room that's at the back of this property. And so it's a huge space. It's large enough that it has a full-size bar, a pool table, a ping pong table, and darts. So it's really an amazing space. If you like cattle, there's actually a farmer that has about, I don't know, we saw 30 black Angus that walked around in the mornings. It was a pretty great scenario. And we got the driver and took off to the different wineries that we went and saw, and then ended up at a distillery called Garrison Distilleries, which is also amazing. But you can see here, it's a really good kind of Texas chic, as you want to call it. Great place and great and easy to hang out at as well. Oh yeah, I forgot. It also has a hot tub. So good times.
That looked like a cool weekend.
They did a great job with it.
Really
They did
did.
a great job with it.
And it's interesting that that Airbnb segment has created a new segment of the marketplace right now. Lots of people used to invest and just buy for long-term rentals, but
Yep.
many people are buying for the short-term rentals, which we were talking about this the other day. The good thing about buying for short-term rentals is if that industry changes or the regulation changes any, it's very easy to switch over and pivot into a long-term rental, and a lot of
Absolutely.
so
And I mean, they're already set up, so they're really great. But
they are. Let's look at the market watch. This was I think you'll now begin to see a lot of those little changes that are going on. We had a few more listings that came on the market last week. It was up about 3%. Fewer that were back on the market, which to me means a lot more were holding together. There were a fewer number that had price decreases, and that really kind of goes along with like our what we recommend to sellers during this time of year is, unless you're really in a bind, this is probably not a time to get the most effectiveness out of a price reduction.
And then contracts that have just gone under contract are inside that option period. It's usually 5 to 7 days. That actually dropped 12% to 1410. And then pending, that means the contract has actually survived the option period and everything is proceeding. We're just getting down to that closing table date. And that also dropped 10% to 2336. And that's really understandable because we're in the middle of the month. And so many times they either close at the very beginning or at the very end. And as we see sold is up. That is up to 24 or 7%, which is 2,466. And then coming soon, which is really funny, is down 1% to 174.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me because the number of homes coming on the market right now is going to be so fewer, and coming soon is really that first status that they go into.
Yep. Well, anyway, great information. And let's go ahead and jump into the first set of the first house.
So you want to talk about this one?
1702 Elmwood Boulevard. This is an amazing area of the cliff. It is such an easy place to get to, and I feel like as more and more people are getting used to the cliff and exploring it and looking for more affordable housing, this is one of those places to go. But when you think of affordable, you want to also think about great style, and this has everything that you want.
It really does. The neighborhood it's in is called Elmwood itself, and Elmwood is one of the larger, really well-defined neighborhoods of Oak Cliff. It's bordered on the north side by the Dart Rail, the south side by Illinois, the west side by Hampton, and then on the eastern side by Sylvan Polk Tyler I think it's Tyler Street's the little one that comes down through there. This is a great neighborhood.
One of the things that we love about this one is that it has that little park directly in front of it, which really is unique to this area. And it also is unique to this home because it gives you one less round of neighbors.
Yeah, and there are lots of, you can see here the green space, there are lots of really well manicured parks there, but then there are also a lot of little like city lot parks that are not really owned and maintained by the city, but they're vacant lots where people take animals and kind of let them run free.
And so if you're not familiar with this area, one of the things that we're going to do is point out a couple of our favorites. And we love that the Dallas Zoo is an amazing centerpiece for Dallas. There's actually building above the highway deck here. One of the things that we wanted to point out is that right now you can actually go to a night show. It's a drive-through. It's got lights, a really great Christmas event for you and the family when you're looking for something else to do than just hanging out at the house. And also close by is one of our favorites is the Bishop Art District.
Yep.
There's so much to do here.
There really is. You know, we have talked a little more in detail in weeks before. We're not going to do that today, but there is so much to do over there, and it is such a walkable district in the Oak Cliff area, which Oak Cliff just yearned for many years.
It really is, and it's something, if you haven't seen it, it's great to go in the evenings for dinner and then walk around. It's one of the rare places that there's a lot to do in the evenings. And last but not least in this area, a brand new place on Singleton is called the Fabrication Yard. And the Fabrication Yard last year did a really great drive-through light festival. I'm not sure they're doing it this year, but if you haven't seen this place, look this place up on Facebook. It has a lot of areas where you can go out with your spray paint and tag the area. A lot of local artists are set up here. I believe Dan Lamb has a studio out here. I also believe that Ricardo Paniagua also has a studio out here, and several others. And sometimes those are also open. So it's a great area, really good culture flavor for this portion of Dallas. I highly recommend this one.
So the home itself is a really wonderful style of home, big corner lot, great curb appeal. You can see how it's got a little bit of that mid-century vibe to it. I wish I'd taken time to look and see who the architect was on it.
Well, the other thing too is you see how it has this pop-up right here, but when we get inside, it's a really different, really interesting concept the way they did it. They spent the money and really opened up this window right here, this is just a picturesque window, which is so wonderful. And then they've done the transom windows on the side. And again, it just kind of has this perfect flow back and forth with the inside to the outside, which is one of the pinnacle points of mid-century modern homes.
Great hardwood floors. They were sanded, polished just to the perfect color to kind of go along with the smooth textures in it. You can see I'm sorry, I jumped away too quick. There's an architectural element in that front window that I think is really it's not built into the window, but you get the vibe standing inside.
Yep. And see how the island right here, I thought this was really unique. The far end of that kitchen island is actually a seating area, and it also almost tees into the window, which is just a really interesting element. And then if you think a little bit further, they've done landscaping just on the other side of it. So it really does create that back and forth in that living space.
It really does. You would feel like you're almost eating outside there without actually having to weather the elements.
And I love the fact that the actual countertops here are leathered. And then I think it is pretty much design on right now, the way that they've done the terracotta tile in the broken pieces on the backsplash. It just ties in. You can see the light fixture again. That is, I believe, a Nelson, and it is definitely circa mid-century modern.
And they had painted the lowers on that. That kitchen flows back into the master bedroom, which has its own seating area, outdoor or private patio space off of that is inside the iron fence with the horizontal slats.
So it's clean, and it's got just enough light. I love the white, and as you move into this master bathroom, it is a beautiful master bathroom. I love the tones that they have. It is interesting to me that when we got in there, I felt like the actual tile had a lot more blue to it. It has more of a gray jade, and I feel like it had a little more blue. The actual mirror there you can see is floating, and that's frosted glass to the outside that is behind it.
Love that element to it.
Just so well thought out. It just makes me happy when I see houses that are not all gray anymore. I'm so tired of seeing all gray houses.
Slow closed drawers, the minimalistic pools, the big walk-in closet. They've got built-in shoe shelving there. This is the stairwell going up, and again, you've got the other transom window that allows all that eastern light in the morning.
So one of the things that you don't see here, but it's only about 8 steps up, so it's more like a half story up, which is great. You have 2 almost symmetrical bedrooms on either side, and they're connected by a Jack and Jill bathroom. Again, you just see it's easy, and it's simple, and it's well thought out. It's just a perfect recipe for a home that just begs you to be move-in ready.
And this is that outdoor space that's right off of the master bedroom. It's very super inviting, and again, super private with the way that they've done the fencing here. This continues on to a really large yard.
Yeah, it was a great yard. Plenty of room for if you want to have a pool. The trees are basically on the perimeter. Not sure you'd have to remove that many. A couple of things they did was the way they incorporated the trees into the fence, which I thought was great. So this is 1702 Elmwood Boulevard. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 52. It's 1628 square feet, priced at $585, which is $359 a square foot. In the comments below, you'll be able to click on a link that'll take you to the rest of the information about this house. And if you'd like to take a look at it, let us know, and we'd be happy to make that happen.
And we want to say thank you to Kathy Hewitt and Steve Habgood and the Habgood Hewitt team for letting us talk about their home today.
Beautiful home.
Beautiful home.
Jeff, what we got on the next one?
The next one we have is in Northwest Dallas, and this is one of those really great little pocket neighborhoods called Chapel Valley, and it's right off of Northwest Highway. The address is 4134 Crossing Lane, and spectacular, almost zero lot line type home.
But shocking how much it has to offer. And this is one of those little neighborhoods that is on Northwest Highway. And this section of Northwest Highway has seen monster changes in the last, 6 months with that area down there near Chick-fil-A, how that whole development has come up. If you come back towards Midway and Northwest Highway, there's another neighborhood that's being built over there that's private. So it's really popping over there now.
It really is. This was the southern side of Northwest Highway, I think for many years was a little overlooked in the being able to use that land, but there was a huge apartment complex. Well, this development was all built in the 80s and the 90s. There was a huge apartment complex that was not really in that great a shape, that's been torn down, new townhomes built over there, just so much happening right around this. Bachman Lake Park is right around the corner from you. You're within walking distance of that. It is probably not one of the most walkable neighborhoods, I would say, but certainly convenient.
Absolutely convenient and easy to get to, whether it's airports at Love Field or DFW. The great thing is that this 121 or Northwest Highway actually hits 183, which gets you right onto the south side of the DFW airport. So it's really just all connects so simply. If you're not from this area, we like to talk about some of the things that we love, that locals love. and what is the first thing that you think of when you go over that area?
Dunstan Steakhouse.
Love myself some Dunstan Steakhouse. Maybe that's where we go for lunch.
Got to sit in the back room.
You gotta sit in the back room. Get there early enough. The funniest thing is there are people who've been going here. They're there for so long that if you go in lunch, there's like another dining room area where a lot of people just sit around and play cards. It's just amazing. There's a back entrance. There's a bar in the back. The salad bar is legendary, and they grill everything on that open pit. It is a treasure for Dallas.
It really is, and it brings back lots of memories to me because when I was 16, 17 years old, I was a cook at a steakhouse.
Yeah,
So
I bet it does.
It smells like I smelled when I came home every day from work. So.
That's awesome. Also over there is a great shopping area, Inwood Village. But right now, I think that as everybody gets ready to go skiing and for cold weather, you want to check out St. Bernard's. They have amazing apparel, both for skiing and for cold weather. And I'm not sure how much of it you need in Dallas right now. But still, hey, we like to have it because Dallas loves to shop, don't we?
Last of all is a new gym that really is needed in the area. This is in Preston Center, just right off of Douglas and Westchester, and it is called John Reed. And this is the only location in Dallas that they have open or are opening at the moment. There was one other location, I think, in Los Angeles. This is supposed to be a brand new style of fitness. Apparently, they have a DJ in the gym.
Let's see how that goes. It'll be interesting because I feel like this portion of Dallas is super anemic when it comes to like gyms. And so for this to come in here, it'll be great. I used to work out at Gold's Gym here. And you know, one of the things that really frustrated me about that gym is that it was so cheap that a couple of the private schools used it as their gym. And so if you went there at the wrong time, it was covered in high schoolers. So hopefully this will not happen to this gym.
Well, let's
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So jumping into our property, this is a 4134 Crossing Lane, is a really cool home, solid brick, 2-story home, big double door entry, great curb appeal. And as Weston was saying earlier, the current owner has done a phenomenal job in making this a true home.
And as you're shopping for a home, you're going to realize that that sweet spot of 22 to 2,400 square feet comes along rarely. And even more rare is it when it's in this condition. They've done a really great job of interpreting the space. What we were just looking at was a dining room, but the way they've set it up, it can also flip-flop back and forth between a workspace, just a breakfast, and then you come into the family room, as you see, and they've done a wonderful job. They're carrying on the notes throughout, whether it's in the paint or it's the materials on the wall and on the flooring. It creates a very seamless, easy living space, as you can see.
And this is that 6-inch wide luxury vinyl? Was that?
Upstairs.
Oh, that's right, upstairs. That's and here in the dining room, I believe.
And this is a great eat-in breakfast space, and you can see
breakfast space.
they spent a lot of money paying attention to the light fixtures. And throughout this property, if you don't notice, there are amazing ones throughout. If you'd like to see them in real time, let us know. We can also do that for you. But it has a really open, flowing kitchen. They've done a great job with moving enclosing a couple of the walls and doors, and basically they have the powder bath, which is on the around rather than being in the middle of the house, which is one of my biggest pet peeves.
And these are 42-inch cabinets, which give you a lot of storage space, gold pulls, which really kind of flow into what today's world calls for. This bathroom was done exquisitely.
It was done well. Paint, it was the wallpaper that really set it off. And then we're going to take and begin to go upstairs, and you can see again, as I mentioned, those lighting fixtures. They did a great job of selecting these, and they're at the perfect eye level for both down and for upstairs.
Plantation shutters pretty much throughout the house really make it where you don't have to have any fabric up at all, no curtains, no drapes, just really very clean lines. When you go into this bathroom, you've got the double vanity, the gold pulls again. I think the wainscoting on the wall really adds kind of a warmth to the bathroom you don't normally get.
And if you work from home, it's always great to be able to look outside from the second floor. And this house, you definitely get to do that. But if two people work from home, this is a second living space on the second floor outside, which they've set up as well, done the built-ins around. And again, we have nice light with plantation shutters.
And this is the master bedroom. I believe this master bedroom faces south, which means that morning sun coming in there is not going to be the incredibly direct, intense sun, but you're going to get some really great light.
And we always like for there to be plenty of space and double vanities. You've got a large mirror there as well. Soaking tub that also has plenty of room, as you can see there. When you put it into scale, that planter, both of them are actually pretty big. They actually butt up against the shower and great space.
And guess what?
It has a pool.
It has a pool. And not only is it just a pool, it is like a hot tub pool.
It is. It could seat probably 16 people. There's jets, I believe, on 3 sides, and there's a enormous jet on this little narrow spot that you swim into if you need to do some swimming.
So 4134 Crossing Lane, it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, built in 1985. It's about 2,300 square feet. And it's priced at $650,000, which brings it in at $275 a square foot.
And we want to say thank you so much to Jana Schick for allowing us to preview this home. It is amazing.
Thank you, Jana. If you want to see any more about this home, click on the links below. If you'd like to see it, reach out to us. We would love to make that happen, and we will be right back. There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment, episode 160 of Sold with Updike Pugh. What are we going to talk about today?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you. We're going to talk about the 5 mistakes you don't want to make in selling your home.
These are critical.
Would you like me to go through these, Weston?
Well, not real fast. I want to too. What's the first one, Jeff?
The first one is neglecting needed repairs.
It is an interesting thing, and it's something that people just think it's time to put a sign in the yard and you're done, and it's really not. Depending on the age of the home, there are different levels of what we encourage our clients to do, but not knowing what is going to be probably asked by a buyer really puts you in a position where you don't have that leverage in negotiations.
Absolutely.
And it can be really shocking, and it can be a lot more expensive because a buyer always asks for more than what is actually needed to make the repair. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times a repair can be made by someone who's not a licensed professional, so it can be cheaper. Mm-hmm. But once you negotiate the repairs, and it is an electrician or it is a plumber, you've got to use a licensed one and provide receipts.
Mm-hmm. To me, this one is probably one. I'm glad we made it number one because it's really the most critical. Because when you're marketing your home, you want your home to appeal to the largest pool of buyers possible.
Absolutely.
And to me, in the marketplace today, there are really 3 pools of buyers. There is the pool of buyers that want to buy something to renovate it and either flip it or renovate it the way that they want. There's an even smaller pool of people who will take medium level renovation on. People don't want to do that thing in the middle, but the pool of buyers that want it completely done is that big. So,
well, we always joke and say that buyers in Dallas would prefer to go to happy hour than to Home Depot. Mm-hmm. And that's just the way it is. They want it done. And when we say they want it renovated and then it goes to that next level, it is like they're miles apart, because when they say they want to do something, it's basically paint and that's it. It's not laying floors. It's not doing countertops. Yep. It is like paint and maybe light fixtures, and that is it.
Yep. Mistake number 2 is not staging your home properly. And we find that incredibly important because people, by and large, do not have vision for how things lay out. And so when you don't help them feel that as they come into your home, it makes your home not as appealing as one that they can walk in and see how they could live.
Yep. And so many times the actual staging process can be as simple as editing what is already there, because so many people have great items in the house, but there might be just too many of them. And so how can we pare that down so that we can get the buyers to begin to see the house as their own? And we also want to create the space and make sure that it feels as big as it can. So if you've got 6 chairs in a room, let's get it down to 4.
Absolutely.
It's just small things that we really love to help our clients get their heads wrapped around.
And I will tell you, Weston is one of the best at taking what you have and staging your house. And granted, he's going to hide 75% of what you own. But
I'll tell you where it is,
but,
though.
but he does tell you where it is when it's over. So,
But it does make a difference. And, you know,
totally.
You know, we've had as little as like telling people, hey, you need to take and clean off the countertops in the master bathroom, you know, to we had another set of client that I helped them with like 16 pages of suggestions, all to get them to see it through their buyer. But I have to tell you this much, they did everything that we asked. And when we brought it on the market was not red hot like it is right now. And we still sold that in record time for higher value than anyone else had gotten in that neighborhood. That was a great little house.
It was.
All right, number 3.
Number 3, asking too much or asking too little for the home.
And this is so tough right now because I don't feel like we run the risk of people asking for too little right now, given the market. But everybody really is like, can't we stretch it? And there are still good comps right now, which is great that we're able to actually look at comps because things are moving so fast that it's hitting the market and it's closing and we have it there. And that data is what you really have to use to base the sales price of your home.
That is true. There is a strategy in the marketplace right now where some brokers or agents and customers decide that they want to underprice their home in order to generate more offers for it. And I don't think that's a good strategy. Only because, number one, you are going to get more offers, which means you have so much more data to evaluate about each of these buyers. And we all know it does not come down to that price that's on the contract.
Nope.
It really, if there's anything it's as important or even more important to that, it is the ability and desire of that buyer to close.
And to have a team around them that can make that happen. So not saying, but some of those online lenders make things really difficult, don't they?
It's
like they get in the way on purpose.
Yeah, our experience with online lenders is just not great. And we have, we bring Jeremy on the show. We talk about him in the process, and we get great reviews on Jeremy all the time. But anyway, it's online lenders make many sellers' life very difficult. So
It's difficult when they promise the world.
moving on,
Hit it.
selling to the highest and the first bidder. And
So
this
why
kind
is
of
that a problem?
Well, it kind of ties into what we were just talking about, because we've had listings that we have put it in MLS and we may not be able to show it for a couple of days just because we've got that last little painting or the last little bit of cleaning to do. And we have people that submit offers without ever having looked at that home. And that is another big red flag to me because, I wonder how many contracts has that buyer written and terminated on?
100%. And it's interesting because you and I watch the showings, and if someone makes an offer on the house and hasn't shown it, we're not giddy up on that.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because on the closing that we had just this morning, our buyer's like, let's just make an offer on it sight unseen. And I was like, they won't take you seriously. Even if you're the first one and you haven't seen it, you're not showing that you're going to make it happen. So you're right.
And our last one really ties into that, and that is not working with the right agent when you're not selecting the right agent to sell and market your home when it's time to do that.
Absolutely. And kind of tying this all back into like second homes and the Airbnb thing, it's even more important if you're taking and making an investment and are going to be using funds for that to work with an agent that is extremely familiar with that area. It's just because we have a Texas license and can sell a home in El Paso or Lubbock, you and I don't have the working knowledge and don't know if there's a giant Walmart that's going to be built in the backyard.
And it's interesting in the class that I think it was one of the legal classes that you were in the other day, the CE continuing education course. I am really happy that they are talking about they term it geographic knowledge,
Geographic knowledge.
because just as you said, our license says we can sell real estate anywhere in the state of Texas, and we could buy access to MLS anywhere in the state of Texas. But just because you have MLS access doesn't mean that you have the geographic competence. I'm sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Geographic competence to work in that market. And in a market as large as the DFW Metroplex and as diverse in types of property, it is even incredibly important in our marketplace.
And not even geographically, but if you think about the type of housing, so it's very interesting, and you can always tell when a realtor has picked up their client's son or daughter and helping them buy their first condo or townhome and come out of the burbs and come to help them, and they don't quite gather the nuances of how condos and townhomes sell.
Yeah, I agree. So we would love to help with you. One of the things we will always promise you is if it is something that we are not well versed in, we are going to tell you that, and we're going to help you find somebody that is, because there are segments of the marketplace that we don't have the experience with, that you need somebody to represent you. But we would really love for you to call and talk to us and give us the opportunity to discuss what you're wanting, what your needs and goals are, and we would love that opportunity.
Yep. Well, I think that's pretty much a good wrap on this.
I think it is too.
And can you believe it? Episode 160 is our last one for 2021.
It is.
So this is it. This is the last time. The next time we're going to see everybody is going to be in 2022.
It is.
So thank you all so much for tuning in. We have appreciated all of your time. Love your feedback and comments. Keep them coming. And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.